home. Mark, presumably it's as it has been the last couple of weeks, just keep winning the games you need to win, and to be fair, that's what you have been doing.
That's all we can do. We've got to take care of ourselves. We talked about it just right after the game. We know what we need to do. We know the permutations if we don't, but our total focus is just on preparing properly and making sure come Saturday, should Rotherham slip up, we have to make sure that we are there to capitalise.
Will you have someone at that Rotherham Old Shot game?
No chance. No. Can't afford scoutings for that. It won't affect us in terms, there's no point having anybody there. I'm sure we'll assess it during the game, I'm sure, but not to the detriment. We've got to beat Bradford. If we don't beat Bradford, it doesn't matter what happens up there. So as and when, hopefully that we take the lead, or we know what we have to do, we'll assess it. But that's not even an issue at the minute. It's just a case of 3 points.
And Bradford, you felt aggrieved, hard done by up there. I mean, does that sort of mean that? I mean, you said also as well that they're perhaps one of the best sides you've played in the league this season. So, I mean, obviously, if you didn't feel that perhaps justice was done, then that really does give Cheltenham a chance, doesn't it?
Listen, second half they battered us and they showed what a good side they were. First half, we went 1-0 up. Should 100% have had a second penalty. I had a referee's assessor in the week later, and a referee. We had a bit of a session with the referee, and it was the most blatant penalty in the world. But we didn't get it. That's what happens sometimes, and we got well and truly battered second half by like I said, a very good side. You've only got to see what they've done for the rest of the season. Their achievements to get to the Carling Cup final was, extraordinary, to be honest. And credit to them for that. They beat some big teams, had some big nights, and they showed they can rise to the big occasion. I'm sure Phil will do whatever he feels is necessary, because that's his job. If he needs to rest some Saturday, if he needs to play his strongest team, he'll do whatever he thinks right. I'm sure of that. And like I said, he'll take care of him, and we'll take care of ourselves as well.
I mean, you could end up playing each other 3 weeks in a row. Is that perhaps more a matter for them?
3 games in a row, yeah.
Yeah, more a matter for them than for you, maybe?
No, listen, Saturday's all we're thinking about. Like I say, we always plan ahead. We know what we're doing. If results don't go our way, we know where we are. But I don't want to talk about what ifs. We know what we're doing. Our job is purely to beat Bradford and see where we are with the Rotherham result.
And the fans look like they're snapping up tickets
Good.
at a rapid rate. And how much can that sort of, if you can turn Modern Road into a bit of a bear pit, how much can that help?
Well, I think we've already proved this season. We've had 2 defeats, and they were in, was it August, John, or something like that? September, at home. And we've, of late, you've only got to look at the Rotherham, Northampton, Gillingham teams that we've beaten when we've had a decent crowd. The boys have responded to it, and I'm just looking for exactly the same on Saturday.
And the backing of a home support, it shows, Bradford get that at Valley Parade, don't they? So if you can sort of rebalance that at Warden Road, then all good.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's at home. The fans have got something to come and hopefully cheer about and be excited about, and if they can get in their numbers like they did against Exeter, like they did against Gillingham, really give the boys their backing and real support, make some noise, and hopefully the boys will respond to that against a really good side, but one we're capable of beating as well.
And after 2 wins in a row, do you feel you've got momentum at the moment as well?
I feel we've got 6 points, and I think we've done what I asked the players to do, which was to take it into the last game. After Plymouth, it was a bit doom and gloom, but they've responded perfectly, as I knew they would do. And whatever happens Saturday, we'll come Sunday morning. We'll know exactly what we're doing, and we'll move on from there in whatever direction that is. And like I said, I'll keep reiterating. I'm not concerned about anything other than turning up at 3 o'clock and beating Bradford. If we don't, everything we're talking about is irrelevant anyway.
And because of that, I suppose it enables you to focus all your energies where they need to be focused, doesn't it?
Yeah, on that training ground, and then just making sure they're not overtrained, making sure they're just prepared as properly as normal, and they are. And Paul Benson will be back in training Tuesday, so he'll be fit and available for selection. By Harry Hooman, we're at full strength, so that's good. And like I say, if we can have a good couple of days now, just just keeping them relaxed, keeping them calm, and readying themselves for one last big effort out of the 46 games that we were scheduled to play come the start of the season.
And how big a bonus is that, having Paul Benson coming back in at this late stage?
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, we need all the players fit and available. Again, they are. And a player of Benno's quality at this stage of the season is massive.
And you said last week your physio's a miracle worker, but to have everyone bar one player available going into the last game of the season, that is something in there. I'm
a bit disappointed that we haven't got the other one available, to be honest. I think Wes needs putting down a place or two. Harry's a bit unlucky, really. That we expected Harry to be somewhere and around it now, but he's had a bit of an infection with the cut that he had from the injury. So unfortunately, Harry's the only one out. But that's great for us in terms of what else everybody else is fit. Yeah.
And actually, if it's a cut, then it's
not
surgery.
It was. Ask him what it was. He just hasn't healed properly from the operation. There's been a bit of an infection and he's had to have bits cut out and stuff. So it's just set him back a couple of weeks, and I think he's banging his head against the brick wall down in the treatment room. But there's nothing he can do about it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Mark, you're possibly one result away from achieving something no one at Cheltenham's ever achieved before. Is this days like this why you're in the job, really? Is that what it's all about?
Of course it is. Yeah. It's a shame that we're not. Destiny isn't in our own hands. I'd love it to be winning Europe, but it's not. And like we always deal with where we are. And like I say, I won't be. I don't want to know the score at Rotherham at all. It doesn't matter, because if we don't win the game, it means nothing. We just have to do our job. I'm sure at some stage we'll have an inkling of what's going on, but that's got the players have to be nowhere near that situation. It's just one member of my staff will just be abreast of what's happening, and we'll go from there. But yeah, of course it's what we want. It's what we've trying to do all season. And the boys are still desperately hungry, desperately trying. I think that the division has been really tough this season. You've only got to see how many points teams need to stay up. So to after last year's euphoria and then disappointment, to respond in the manner that they have, I think the players have been really pleased with themselves. They can be even more proud of themselves, and they can make their families even more proud of them. Saturday if things go our way.
Yeah, and a chance to get promotion on your CV as someone who's been in management a while now, but not.
It's where I am. I want to be as successful as I can. Of course I do. I've worked with clubs with limited budgets and stuff, but we're improving all the time, and people are taking notice to Cheltenham now, which is what we want.
Yeah, if you compare Cheltenham and Bradford, the size of the clubs, it's just a complete mismatch, isn't it? But what do you think Cheltenham have done well, or Bradford have had their problems as well, but Cheltenham must be doing something very right to be finishing consistently above Bradford?
Which I don't know what we've done right. A lot of things from top to bottom are done right at this club. We haven't had the hangover that they've had for however many years. The expectations that they have, but we're progressing nicely. We're never going to be a club the size of Bradford, never. To get the support that they get week in, week out, and to be fair to them, they do that. They've done it over a number of years where they've really incentivised the season ticket offers, where if they get so many, and once you get up to those sort of levels, you can do that, and fair play to them for that. They've had a fantastic season, and we're never going to be the size of them, but we've got good players here, as have they, and pretty evenly matched squads, to be fair, but we've managed to just be above them most of the season, and we've got to try and make sure whatever happens, we stay above them for however long this season continues.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any specific details at all, because you don't want to go into ifs and buts, but how much could the events of this weekend alter your plans for next season in terms of personnel? Does what division you're in going to make much of a difference to the players you want to keep?
Not at all. No.
Exactly the same. You think that they're all capable of making the step up?
I think everyone is. Yeah. We've already got 11 or 12 already sorted for next year. So there's only a couple of the lone players but that's people talk about us having a bit of continuity from last season. and we just want that to continue wherever division you're in. There won't be a great deal of tinkering. There won't be a great deal of just constantly trying to keep the club going forward and keep improving. That's the bottom. That's not even something I've thought about, John. You know, to be honest, we're after 3 points, and that's all.
Yeah, it's probably the busiest January Cheltenham have had in the Football League, but now it is starting to pay off because you look strong. Everyone's had rest when they needed it.
Yeah.
It seems to be paying off now, doesn't it, with performances?
Yeah, and Byron stepped up to the plate. You know, the last few games without Paul Benson, which is what we needed. I'm really pleased with the squad. Really pleased. I probably just wish we had 3 more points.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, Mark.